Well, it looks like it's going to be a truncated week which belongs to the bears, even as the Nifty index managed to fall below the 9100 level on an intraday basis on account of concerns over banks provisioning, rising banks provisions. The Nifty index lost as much as 100 points at a point during late in trade before pairing some losses to end about 60 points lower. That brings it back to 1 month lows. Neeraj, I don't know, but do you think this is the much needed correction that has finally come in, or finally the Nifty is showing signs of cooling off after the kind of run up it has seen?
Yeah, so I mean, well, much needed. If you ask,
it's the GST fears which are probably starting to build in, at least in the near term.
Probably the expiry as well, though we did see the move start, and probably a lot of weaker hands now starting to give way. So for example, oil and gas, the correction started before, but we're clearly seeing the pressures of the crude price fall and the gas price fall on the oil and gas stocks continuing. I think Shraddha made a point in the morning as well, the PSU stocks and the way they have fallen. Just look at the intraday charts of the Nifty PSU bank index as well as the bank Nifty. Those were the culprits in addition to stocks like BPCL and a few others. So that's where that's the devil in the detail, so to say. But mind you, I mean, we saw inklings of this coming, Shraddha. I don't know if you recollect, but we were talking about how the market breadth has been abysmally negative almost all of the last 15 or 20 odd sessions. That could have been a day or two otherwise, but the market breadth has been terrible. So the last few days, that was giving some signs that the market is getting tired or fatigued at some higher levels, and maybe some correction is warranted. I was speaking to a few technical experts throughout the day today, just trying to get a gauge of how is it that traders are approaching the market. One key point that came out was that not once since the 1700 base and the up move that we've seen, not once has the index corrected over 4%. It's corrected 2%, 3%, but never a 4% move or a 5% move or thereabouts. Now we've corrected about 2.5 from the levels of 9700. If indeed we break some levels, if indeed we go down to 9320, it will be below the swing high and the positional low levels of 9360. That was a key pivot that a lot of people are tracking right now. And if indeed we go 4% lower, then maybe there is a chance of going for, this is what traders say. Lawrence Belanco is anyways on record saying that he believes that there is a chance that the index will go down to 9100, 9200. But yeah, the ingredients are there. PSU banks are looking weak. State-owned banks, there is not that we'll see too much of buying in pharma, IT or some of the others as well. So how much more can private banks really take the index up? So yeah, doesn't look set for a reversal anytime soon. Maybe we see some more pressure. Let's see if it lasts or no. Volatility remains low though, so that's in our favor.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it can go down further also, given the fact that a lot of people are waiting with cash
liquidity
to
is
come
slosh.
and invest.
You're right, Shraddha. Liquidity is, I mean, we have a lot of liquidity. Domestic funds keep on buying continuously, but you never know. 4-5% either direction, very, very easily possible.
Thanks for that, Neeraj. On that note, you're tracking the Nifty movers, Jayesh.
Absolutely.
Of course, not surprisingly, it's the banks which are the biggest losers as far as your Nifty index is concerned.
Absolutely, Shraddha. Just to drive Neeraj's point ahead on the advanced decline. Well, today again, in favor of the declines. The last time that I checked, 30 stocks on the Nifty were declining compared to just 20 odd stocks on the advancing side. If you have a look at the individual movers on the Nifty itself, you had very little green, just about something like an IOC up about 1.8%, GAIL 1.57%, Bharti and ONGC gaining more than 1% each. Whereas rightly mentioned by Shraddha, joker in the pack was the banking sector, with Bank of Baroda down 3.7%. You had the odd ACC and Z Entertainment down about 3.5%. SBI again more than 3% down. So it was really the banking sector and the PSU banking index down 3% for the day itself. With that, time to introduce our guest, Mr. Prabhakar from IDBI Capital. Now I know, sir, that you track technicals and fundamentals both, but given the move that we've seen, 5 days of decline on the Nifty, is the structure still intact, or something has given way?
See, if you notice, market has rallied for 89 trading days. That is a Fibonacci number in itself. So from 7900 to 9709 or 8, whatever is the high, that was 89 days of rally. From there we have corrected, and it is almost a double top. Now we have seen last week no, 90, 96, 98 was the high. So almost similar to a double top. From there, the last 3 days correction has been bit severe.
Yes.
Otherwise, we didn't have such
More
kind
than
of
half
severe,
percent each. Yeah.
So, but going forward, at 93 or 9400 levels, I think there is likely to be a good support. But in this market also, there are few sectors and stock which are holding, which will likely to lead the rally in the weeks and months ahead. So there will be a sector rotation. Banks have started to fade, or that is where the profit booking has started. Whereas telecom is slightly changing. IT is holding their gains. So that is where there is a sectoral shift which investors or traders should look at.
Mr. Prabhakar, Crystal says banks FY18 provisionings may rise by as much as 25% on the back of RBI's new norms on provisioning. How is the bank Nifty looking like now? And broadly, just to give a fundamental view, how are you really looking at banks now, whether PSU or private?
See, the impact, whatever you say, is going to be on the PSU bank, and PSU bank don't have a higher weightage on bank Nifty. It is more dominated by the private bank, which doesn't have exposure to all these 12 companies. Maybe a Axis Bank or a ICICI Bank may be impacted, but a Kotak Bank or a HDFC Bank or Yes Bank or IndusInd Bank will not be impacted. So in that case, there can be a correction, 3 to 5% correction, but not more than that. Private banks will be holding their place, but PSU might correct more.
Sure, sir. I wanted to ask you, you were mentioning that there are going to be certain pockets or certain stocks that are going to drive the next rally ahead. Can you give us insights into what you are picking up, or some hints on what exactly, which sectors are you referring to?
See, IT is one sector which is not corrected. After a rally, the reason there was some rally, and after that it is not correcting, and mid cap IT has started to do well. You take Cyient or Persistent System or a Tata Elxsi. Now this correction is correction within the rally. After a rally, there is always a retracement. That retracement is what we have seen in mid cap IT. But going forward, I think mid cap IT will perform, and it'll then the rally in the large cap IT will start. So I feel the reverse is happening, and this will take IT index higher. And even in pharma, I think the bottom is almost near in place. So it is one more sector which has been heated, and that is where money is going inside. So I think IT and pharma will be the sector, and telecom where there is a lot of pain. Idea has started to perform. Bharti Airtel today started to perform. So these are three sectors which has not performed till now, looking very good. And the other stock is Reliance. Reliance will be the odd one out in the Nifty pack. That is one stock which is not corrected. It is regularly making higher high and higher lows. I think that is one stock which will outperform the market.
Alright, let's just address the biggest mid-cap movers before we can go back to Mr. Prabhakar and ask more questions. Absolutely discouraging market breadth as far as the Nifty 500 index is concerned. Just one gainer for every 4 losers on that index. Amongst top losers, you had GMR Infra, almost 10% gone there, GMT Auto, India Cements, Indocount Industries, all of them taking a knockoff close to 6%. Dredging Corp, Swan Energy, some of the other names figuring amongst the losers, and of course you have your PSU banks which have lost as much as 5%. When it comes to the gainers, JP Associates, interesting trend here, it zoomed about 42% in the last 4 sessions after the GLF approved debt recast. On the other hand, you have Videocon Industries that also was locked at the 5% upper circuit today after seeing 24 consecutive lower circuits and a market cap erosion of 80% in those 24 sessions. So Videocon really seeing some trend reversal there. That apart, even Adani Group stocks were doing well. Adani Transmission Enterprises both rising about 4 to 5%. Just the last question, Mr. Prabhakar, again, any top picks or any top names that you have amongst the mid caps that you like, even if it's on a technical basis?
See, we like stock where transformation from the post GST era is going to benefit. One is Century Ply, Neel Kamal, Finolex Industries, Astral Poly. These are where unorganized sector has a good market share. So that is where we like it, and I think these are the sectors to watch in. Maybe there can be some correction before the GST sets in. So post GST, these are the stocks to outperform.
Sure,
We
sir.
also have some update on an IPO listing.
Yes,
today.
absolutely. So we saw Tejas Networks IPO list today, where the issue price was about 257, opened thereabouts, and ended the day very tepid listing at about 263 odd. So not much per se for the IPO itself. But having said that, the word coming in from IDBI Capital, they believe IT and pharma could lead the next rally for the broader markets itself. With that, we have come to the end of this segment of Market Wrap. You stay tuned into Bloomberg Quint. Thanks for watching.